I was thinking about, we know it's not linear, but go back 1 year. 1 year ago, Kevyn Adams fired Don Granato and said, I know what this team needs. He was very bullish about it. Like another moment where Adams is this almost defiant, I know what's right. Mm-hmm. And then he hired Lindy. Mm-hmm. And if Lindy were almost anyone else, wouldn't we say the move was the wrong move? They did not get better. Don Granato's 2 years as coach of the Sabres are their two high points during the drought.
Right.
He has their two highest, the best results are Granato.
Yeah.
Two of them. Which is
one of them by far, basically.
91 points and then 84 points.
Yeah.
And then they fired that coach. I'm reminded of when they fired Bilesma. Bilesma, the expectation that year was to get 95 points. Bilesma set it on the record, like at NHL.com. Like, we think we can be a 95-point team. Mm-hmm. They finished in the 80s. They fired everybody. It becomes Botterill and Housley, and they go the wrong direction.
Quickly, too.
Right. They fired Bilesma.
Well, there was the 10-game win streak, and then it was
Sure. But they fired Bilesma and Murray because this isn't good enough.
Right.
And that was reasonably good. I mean, no, I shouldn't say that. I think they might have had 78 points after an 81-point season. But 2 years out of a full-on tank.
They hadn't finished last.
That's right. They were not finishing last. They
Which
fired
is the standard.
They fired Bilesma and Murray on a season where they thought they'd get to the 90s. This isn't good enough. You're gone. Botterill comes in, and then, to me, that's like where the cratering begins. Mm-hmm. And they're still trying to get out of it. And Granato was the closest they got to getting out of it. And now, Lindy got the job, and you could say a number of things. It's the 13-game losing streak. It's the fact that they don't get saves. I think they need saves. And they can continue to be undone by their goaltending while the GM says, I have all the confidence in the world in a guy that had a bad season and has had one good 50-game stretch and a guy that's in the AHL.
Right.
All the confidence in the world. You didn't have the confidence in them in April. That was James Reimer's job.
Right.
2 years ago, you didn't have the confidence. How many years back is Craig Anderson? This team finds its way to waiver goalies, bailing them out down the stretch. Levi is a little bit of this, too. Mm-hmm. Levi was, sign him. We need him right now.
He played did he not play the 7 most important games of the entire playoff drought?
Might be.
Off of, he was in his dorm room the week before.
Yeah.
And he graduates, basically, or he probably did in the summer. He leaves school, and it's immediately,
playoff race.
You need to play the most important games that we have played in 15 years.
Right, they've been so unprepared in goal, and so, there it is again yesterday.
Well, how much of that
confidence in the world?
How much of that is they believed Levi was going to be different? They bet on it. They bet on.
Would you still make that bet?
That he'll be not that he'll be different. That's already sailed on that.
That he would be the rare guy that can jump right to the pros because nobody ever does that.
Right, he could still be really good, but there was a lot of sample that these guys at this age just don't show up and produce for you. It's like John Gibson was the list of guys over a decade that had done it.
He's available. You want him?
More than maybe the guys that are here, yeah. But that was a long shot. As good as he was, you needed him to be historically good for his age to be worthy of giving him the number one job, and they just handed it to him. And they built the whole roster around the fact that he was going to do it. So that's the goalie part of it. The coach part of it, I'll go back even to before they fired Granato, because was it the wrong move to hire Lindy? At that point, it's you're going for an experienced coach. I'm not going to blast them for wanting that. If they had hired Craig Berube instead of Lindy Ruff, and they had landed on that, I don't know. I would feel
that's right.
You're trying to do something here.
Right.
You're trying to be relevant. You're trying to get a certain type of coach that I'm not going to blast you for.
Put it this way: if it had just been Seth Appert gets the job instead of Lindy,
that's very different.
People would be saying, "Why did you do this?"
That's very different.
It got worse.
I agree with that.
But Lindy is kind of there to insulate that as a guy that has won before.
Yeah, but I'll backtrack even still to after their best season of the drought by far, their verdict was, we can't win this way. And even though Granato was still the coach, Maybe it was from him. Maybe it was from above him of, we can't play that way anymore. We can't play run and gun up and down the ice trying to outscore teams. We missed the playoffs by 1 point. But, no, we need to play this way to get over the hump. And then what happened? It's gone down since then. It still blows my mind. They haven't even, by the way, truly, maybe last year you could say that they started to revert back to, let's play a little bit more aggressive and loose and try to score, or you could just say they're bad defensively. But it still blows my mind that their verdict at the end of their best season of the drought was, oh, no, you can't win that way. It's crazy.
Yeah.
They were so close. They were almost better than the Panthers by a point. And by a Hudson Fasching leg.
And they added a bottom pair defenseman and a fourth liner.
And changed their style dramatically.
Yeah.
Overnight. And it hasn't worked since. So, and that's part of Granato. That's why I have trouble even blaming Granato for points of that final season that he is the coach, because I don't know that they were... That's not... When I think of Granato hockey, what do you think of? It's
wide open.
Feel
Rush.
like don't be afraid to make mistakes and getting players to play their best.
Yeah,
offensively.
They scored on the rush all the time. Yeah,
and all of that has been gone for. Well, it was at least gone for a year and a half. Like last year, it really did start coming back, right?
Yeah, they scored a bunch last year. Yep. Jerry in Pennsylvania. Hey, Jerry. Good morning.
Hey, thanks for taking the call. Good morning, guys.
Morning.
Hey, so I guess I've got two things, one of which I kind of thought about on the line. The first is, it feels to me like the Sabres are pretty close. Like if you woke up this morning to a very doable Marco Rossi trade, doesn't the conversation seem a little bit more optimistic about them? Like they're pretty close to fielding a playoff roster. And the second thing is, I think like when they say we're taking lessons from the Bills, I think that really hurts them, because the Bills, you can draft a first-round player and have him be in the league the next year, and it's the whole draft, develop, re-sign. But with a hockey team, you kind of need to bring in the vets. You've got people that have been sitting in the minors for draft plus 3 years doing nothing for your team. Anyways, thank you guys. I'll hang up and listen.
Thanks, Jerry. I wonder how much taking lessons from the Bills is just an effort to stand next to the very good-looking organization. Mm-hmm. We are one and the same. All right, and the Bills got it right, so we'll get it right by learning from them. I wonder how much of that is just, marketing.
It's a show.
Yeah.
It seems like a show, right? I don't know.
But it's funny, that's part of what's crazy about this 14-year drought is how many times have they been not that far away? A couple players... at least 3 of the years, saves would have done it. Just saves.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a spot that's been rough. Since Allmark left, it's a rotating cast of characters, whether it's your Eric Comries, your Carter Hunt. They don't spend a lot at goaltender. They finally got a glimpse of one guy that was consistent. They gave him 5 for 25 right away. Quick. Bang. UPL. That's our guy for this amount of money. And Levi is... I don't know. I feel like Levi's a coin toss for me. I have no idea if it's going to work out. He's obviously incredible in the AHL, and you'd like to believe the profile is going to come up here and be a difference maker. That's when I really got excited about them. That run they make last year, or that year where they just missed the playoffs. It was they can score, and what if they got? It's kind of like the Bills conversation, a real difference maker, a player that rates, because they love to talk about. Tough to play against, and fourth line's important, and this and that. But, who wins in the league? Great players. The great players win. And the Sabres have a couple, but they need more. This isn't exactly breaking news. They need more good players. And
they need, to your point, the saves. If you don't have enough great players,
you need saves.
You can get in with saves.
Yeah,
that happens every year in the league where a team makes the playoffs, and everyone will show up in April to all right, let's preview the playoffs. This team, they had 98 points, but okay, we just know that was a hot goalie season, right? The team's actually not that. That happens every year in the league. But on this team, it's amazing that they've really never had one of the two. They've never had enough of the great players without the goaltending, or they've never had the goaltending to run it all the way through. So, what feels like the more likely path for them to break the drought? Because I think it's the latter. They have to try for it, but they've got Tage and they've got Dahlin and they've got, for now they have Peterka, they have Tuck. Like, they have some good players and then they have a couple of great players. But I don't think they have enough great players for that to be the driving success for them. Like, I would bet you right now, the more likely way this drought ends is one of their, like, a goalie's going to have a hot season. Because that's typically how it goes. But the odds that it would be one of these two, I think I could totally see it being Levi, but I just don't know if that's going to be 4 years from now or not. And who's got time for that? I got to wait 3-4 years for the kid to do it? That's the thing where I'd like to see them separate that mentality from goalie. Because the patience and we believe in Samuelsson. We believe in these guys taking steps up for us. They have deviated from that a little bit up front, right? They trade for McLeod. They signed Zucker. Like, there's been a little bit of a shift towards, no, we need guys that can produce right now and can be good for us right now. There has never been a single action that points to that at goaltender, though. Not once. That would be this year saying, I know we paid Luukkonen, but screw it. I need to go get a goalie that's going to help me right now. I don't care about my commitment.
Here's Jake Allen, 2 years, $5 million.
Sure.
Total, right. Per. Like, he was under 4 last year. He probably gets a raise. He's older. Here's 3 years, $5 million. Who cares? We got to make it.
Yeah.
We got to put somebody out there that we can maybe trust. If that's, he's the best guy in free agency.
The most optimistic way I could take it is, why does he talk the way he does about Luukkonen and Levi yesterday? Because if they don't end up with that guy, then they don't want to look like they failed, right?
Yep.
The negative part of it is, they just won't even try for a guy. They truly do believe, no, we're good. UPL and Levi. That's going to work.
I want to leave space for, and maybe I'm a sucker for, I don't think we have any needs. Like, Bean's going to say that going into a draft, and then they draft exactly what we think. We love this group. We love this group. And then you're going to draft somebody. So I want to leave space for that where, I'm very confident in these goaltenders if this is who we go into the season with. And then maybe they spend the next month trying to find somebody. And then
that's what I mean. Yeah.
Right. And if it doesn't work out, like, all right, well, I said I was good, and I'm going to be good.